Hey guys, Venomous here, and I got a brand new segment of The Verdict for you. I know I haven't done one of these videos in quite some time, but actually had the moment to sit down and actually do one because I just saw a bunch of movies recently, and this one I think is probably going to get people up in arms, at least, hearing what I have to say. But, this is an honest review, an honest opinion of the movie that I'm talking about. I'm talking about The Last Airbender, okay? Now, you guys know in the past that I was really pumped up for this movie, and it kind of got lackluster reviews and stuff. So I wasn't really all too that thrilled to go and see it at one point, but I was like, you know what? The hell with the reviews. I'm going to go see it and give my own opinion about it. And I'll see exactly how good or how bad exactly this movie is. So anyway, I went, I saw it. Enough said. Now, here's my whole opinion on the movie, okay? This movie, okay, get ready because a lot of guys are not going to agree with me on this, but this is the truth, people. This movie was not a good movie, but at the same time, it was not a really bad movie, okay? And here's why I say this. Some of the most terrible movies, okay, really deviate, especially if they're based on something, really deviate from the source material and really make a lackluster attempt at recreating what was in the original source material for whatever that said movie is actually based upon. Top of that, okay, some of the movies that are decent, okay, but don't necessarily kind of get it right, do make an attempt to actually, really, to go forward with the source material of what they're based upon and actually get the type of look and feel of the original source material. This is the same thing that goes on with The Last Airbender, which is based on Avatar the Last Airbender, which is the Nickelodeon show, which is an American-based anime for nobody that didn't know. This movie, to me, when I was watching it, kind of felt like watching a greatest hits, 2 hour, segment of the entire first season of Avatar the Last Airbender, which is book one, which is water, okay? This movie is actually supposed to be the first in a series of three movies, which are basically the only three seasons of the Avatar the Last Airbender cartoon, okay? Book one, water, being the first season, the whole start of the actual series and stuff. And for the most part, if you go in watching this movie with that frame of mind and not, and kind of, rolling with it, kind of going along. I mean, if you're a fan of the actual cartoon series, okay, then you'll have a decent time. You actually enjoy this movie somewhat because, like I said, this is kind of like a greatest hits of everything that's going on during the first season of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Okay, now the flip side of that, when you're actually watching a movie, okay, or watching a movie that's based off a cartoon or something like a TV series like Avatar, and you're a fan of it. Perfect example would be Dragon Ball Z, okay, Dragon Ball Evolution and stuff. You go in there with so many expectations, on you, actually looking to see if certain things are done right, certain things, that should make into the movie, what's not making into the movie. And as a fan, this leads into fanboyism. You kind of pick at little things here and there that kind of comprise into one big giant complaint that you have with the movie, okay? And that's what something like Dragon Ball Evolution suffered from. Now, don't get me wrong, Dragon Ball Evolution was not a great movie, okay? But it wasn't bad in some retrospects. Someone going in there without any knowledge of Dragon Ball whatsoever, of any of the anime or the manga and stuff, would have probably enjoyed it, okay? Someone like that was a really huge fan of Dragon Ball Z, a Dragon Ball Z fanboy, would totally hate the movie, which is what happened with a lot of people. Someone like me who has knowledge of most of the anime and the manga out there and stuff went in there, okay, I'm going in there, I'm going to expect, certain things and stuff, but I got to keep an open mind and just roll with it like I always do with movies. So if I know something that's going to be somewhat bad, just roll with it and see how good of a time I have with it. And rolling with Avatar, or The Last Airbender, like M. Night Shyamalan has put, okay, that enabled me to enjoy the movie a little bit. Okay, there was some stuff, and I also read up about it later on after I saw the movie about certain things that didn't make it into the movie. Okay, for example, spoilers ahead for anybody that doesn't know about Avatar or hasn't even seen the movie. The Kyoshi Warriors were originally going to be in The Last Airbender. M. Night Shyamalan had filmed a whole sequence, was it introducing the Kyoshi Warriors, which are the earth-bending, females that wear the geisha paint and stuff like that. But he decided to cut that out, okay? One, because the movie would run really long, or longer than what it is now, because even though it runs about an hour and a half, maybe about 2 hours at most, but it would have been longer. But on top of that, he also cut them out because the second season, or the second movie, is about the Earth Kingdom. It's book 2 of Earth, where, it would be much more appropriate to introduce the Kyoshi Warriors into there. And also to keep in mind, that what is it? More of the love interest for Sokka would actually be involving what is it? Princess Yue, which is the Water Kingdoms or the Water Tribes. What is it? Princess there in the south. I believe it's the South Water Kingdom. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. Could be the North, but whatever. You guys get my point. Okay. Another thing that also a lot of stuff that a lot of people picked out about. Okay, the actual firebending nation, okay, was comprised mostly of Indians, okay? Now, when I actually went in there, I remember hearing a lot about it. When I actually saw it on screen, it didn't bother me as much as it did other people, Maybe because I heard a little bit of backstory about it. Maybe if I went in without actually knowing about this, I might have noticed it, but I still believe it probably wouldn't have never bothered me because as I was watching all the stuff that was going on and stuff, I was more concerned to the fact that, okay, these are the firebenders, this is how they're doing, this is what they're doing. I'm not concerned about how they look and stuff, okay? Because like I said, certain movies that are based on a certain source material actually make an effort to get the look and the feel of that source material. And I believe that this movie had at least the look and stuff for it, okay, to have me at least pay attention to what was going on with the story. Now, the main story as a whole, okay, like I said, you have to look at after seeing this, I look at this more as like greatest hits of the first season of Avatar because it was a little bit kind of rushed because there's a lot of content from that whole first season to comprise into almost 2 hours. And, it could have been a little bit more picky. M. Night could have been a little bit more picky and choosy of certain stuff, which to include like what he did with the Kyoshi Warriors because like I said, there is a lot of stuff. If you actually go and watch all the episodes of the first season of Avatar, you'll see that there's so much story on certain things, on certain characters and stuff that fleshes it out so well that the absence of those, or at least, the not being able to explore certain aspects of that kind of kills it for certain characters. That's why a lot of people had a lot of problems with Sokka. A lot of people have, problems with Katara, besides the fact that, a lot of people argue that she didn't look like Katara, but, they're from the South Water tribe, and he was trying to, at least get the whole tribe to look, one specific type of way, or at least, convey one specific type of look, whether it be skin color or physical features and stuff like that. Okay. But there was a lot of stuff in there that, really, with those particular characteristics or particular like things that are supposedly explained in the first season, you don't really connect too much with these characters. Now that also leads me to another thing, okay, with two characters specifically. One, Zuko. Zuko is probably my most favorite character in the entire Avatar cartoon because I feel he's the character of that whole series besides Aang that has the most growth because he goes from pretty much down low to up high. But spoiler ahead, but go watch it. It's really awesome. Okay. Zuko, okay, yes, he did look Indian, and yes, his scar wasn't as, kind of apparent as it is in the actual cartoon, but keep in mind, this is a live-action adaptation, and, the directors and the production crews have to work with certain things and actually get things a certain amount. At least there, for Zuko, his scar was there. The story behind him and his father and his nation and why he's been exiled and stuff was there, and that was enough for me to keep on rolling, okay? And also on top of that, I felt, if anything, as far as the acting's concerned, for the actor that did play Zuko, he actually got it right compared to the rest of the other cast. I think he's the one, at least out of all the entire group that did Katara, Sokka, Aang, all these other people that really, went the distance as far as portraying that character. I think he did a successful job, but there's always room for improvement for the sequel. Okay. On top of that, Zuko's uncle, one of the big things that a lot of people had a problem with the Fire Nation actual soldiers and stuff was that their firebending doesn't come from within themselves. They actually, in the cartoon, they don't need fire present in certain areas to actually bend the fire. In the movie, okay, in The Last Airbender, they actually have to have like a torch or something with them so that way they could bend the fire. There is no, spontaneous combustion there. In the cartoon is like that. And what I thought was interesting that M. Night did was that in order to make Uncle more unique, because in the cartoon there's a lot of episodes and stuff that explain why Zuko's uncle is who he is and stuff, and you get a sense of why he's so unique amongst everybody else in the series. What added on to allow Zuko's uncle to be able to firebend without the use of an actual torch or any type of source anywhere and be able just to bend like that was really interesting because, like I said, it makes him more unique and stuff. And down the line, since I know what happens on later on in the seasons of the show and stuff, it leads on to a bunch of other stuff that has a better explanation and a much more clear understanding of what happens with Zuko's uncle, or what had happened to him in the past prior than the timeline that the movie and the cartoon provides us. Okay, so anyway, that's just my opinion on the whole matter. Like I said, this wasn't a bad movie. Okay, this wasn't on like the level of Legend of Chun-Li or the King of Fighters or the Tekken movie, but okay, it wasn't a very good movie at all. It wasn't on the level of Avatar, like James Cameron's Avatar or The Dark Knight or something. Okay, this was okay. This, out of like 5 stars, maybe I'd give this about a 3. Okay, to be honest with you, okay, because it has the look, it has the feel, it's got the story, which is pretty much set for it. It just needs to take it another step or two further, okay, especially for the sequels, because from fans that know what goes on in the Avatar world, you guys know firsthand that from here on out, technically it's supposed to get darker without giving any hints away and stuff. But if you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. It's supposed to get darker. It's supposed to push characters a little bit much more to the edge, okay? Anyway, that's just my whole thoughts and my review on the whole movie of The Last Airbender. Leave your comments and video responses. I don't mind. Just keep it civil. Let me know what you guys think, okay? Let us know about your opinions about this movie, and I'll talk to you guys again real soon. Venomous is out, and that was only the goddamn truth, people. Or, correction, that was the verdict, okay? Talk to y'all later.